Everyone visualizes unconsciously or consciously, and when we were children, it was called fantasy. How many of us haven't heard that we had a vivid imagination as a child? But as we got older, the fantasy was replaced by a more realistic and logical form, based on experiences from the past's projections of the future. Where did my pink horses with spotted wings go? What I wanted to point out about this is that we stopped fantasizing boundless as we got older. The feeling of magic just disappeared. Could this be the reason why some people find it difficult to visualize their dreams when the logical thinking of what is are dominating? The same goes for our development and our successes or failures. They are all created from the same source of vision. A vision is as it sounds. It's something I see. It is an inner image. If I ask you to think of a yellow banana with green braces, you will probably get that image, but since bananas do not have braces, you construct the image using your imagination. If I say instead, do not think of a yellow banana with green braces, what happens then? Well, you think of the banana with green braces, because it does not matter if I say not. The words will always associate to a performance in the form of an inner image. The mind does not distinguish between negative or positive sentences. It only focuses on the object. Like when you say to a child, "Watch out for the pit in the road," the child often falls into it, because what we focus on, we attract. When we visualize, we create consciously or unconsciously. The book and the filmatization of the law of attraction provides insights into this. But to really get to know this law, we need to practice it and look at our lives and see if what we have today is the sum of what we have been focusing about for a long time or intensely in a short time. It provides me with insights and awareness and a lot of fun. I will tell you about some of my manifestations and how I did to achieve them. And I did this unconsciously and consciously. I remember when I became aware that I had created my dream. It was 22 years ago, and I was pregnant with my first child. My partner and I were out walking and passed a beautiful villa area with big, grand houses. I got a view of a large, beautiful house with a large green garden. The house was perfectly located with a corner plot. And at that time, my partner and I lived in an apartment and had a desire to get a house as soon as we got finances for it. But for us, it was far ahead in time at that point. Anyway, I was admiring this beautiful house in every detail. I was so attracted to it, so I began to fantasize about what it would feel like to live there. I remember how I imagined sitting on the stairs to the house with my morning coffee in the sun, and how I imagined my child running on the plot with bare feet on the green lawn. It gave me a feeling of really living there, only if it was just for a small moment. But I really felt it. After that, I didn't think about it much more. But every time we passed the house, when we were out walking, I dreamed of it again. A month later, when my daughter was born, I got a call from my grandfather. He told me that he and my grandmother had decided that I would have an early inheritance from them. He said that now when we had become a bigger family, we needed a house for our daughter to grow up in. I was overjoyed, and my partner and I started to look for a home. I still had my dream house in mind, but since someone lived there already, it wasn't relevant. But 1 year later, my partner called me on his way home from work. He said that the house I wanted now was for sale. We went on a tour of the house, and to our delight, there was no one but us on that tour. And the house became ours. When we had moved in, I remember how I sat down on the stairs to the house one morning, and the sun was shining, and my daughter was playing on the lawn, and I was enjoying my morning coffee. Suddenly, I got a feeling of déjà vu, and it struck me that I had gotten exactly what I fantasized about just a year before. I had no idea how it happened, but at that moment I got to experience the feeling of real magic. It wasn't until several years later, when the book The Secret was released, that I became aware of how things had gone. Still, I was a little skeptical about being able to create whatever I wanted, even though a few years earlier I got a direct hit. So I put it to the test again. I closed my eyes and I visualized a white limousine. I saw it clearly for my inner vision, and then released the image and let it go. Later that evening, me and some friends went to a meeting in the suburb of Stockholm. After the meeting, we had a pizza at a place nearby. We sat and ate and laughed when I suddenly saw something big and white in the corner of the eye. It was outside the window, and when I looked out, I saw a big white limousine parking just outside my window. It was in the middle of the suburb, just outside the pizzeria where I was. I couldn't help but stare and try to absorb what had just happened. And this was really too good to be true. These are two of my real experiences of visualizing conscious and unconscious. I have many more, but it would take too long for you to look at this video if I put them in here also. But think of all the visions we send out daily, especially unconsciously. It is not always what we want, but perhaps more what we expect. By becoming aware of the creative process, it gives me control over my life. Above all, I can choose to create what I want instead of what I don't want. Everything we make a habit of becomes a masterpiece in the end. It includes everything we do. Enough presence and focus eventually becomes a reality. Here are some simple exercises that you can use to visualize easily. And I really want to share this with you. You can start right away. Number 1, make a vision board. I want you to start with cutting out positive and inspirational images and texts from magazines. Then paste them up as a collage on a larger sheet of paper or cardboard. The images must give you a positive feeling when you see them. Use all the senses and fantasize as if you had it right now. Number 2. Write an experience-based story. Start with writing about yourself, as if it were happening right now. Write about what you want to experience. Write a novel about yourself. Get into the experience completely and fantasize as you did as a child. Number 3. Paint a picture. I paint a lot of landscapes when I paint. And the fascinating thing about putting mindfulness in a painting is that you are in the vision the whole time you paint. And it seems to produce the fastest results. I am continually struck by amazement when I come to a new place and realizing that I have painted a picture of that place on one of my paintings before. So I can highly recommend this exercise. You don't have to be an artist to paint, just a vision and some intention. Again, bring up the child in you, who always thinks it paints nicely, because it is on the inside that the perfect picture exists. And keep in mind that where the intention goes, energy flows. I want to end this video with a quote from Marianne Williamson. Visualize the most amazing life imaginable to you. Then close your eyes and see it clearly. Then hold the vision for as long as you can. Now place the vision in God's hands and consider it done.